So here's another question. Third question. If so, what would you say is stopping you right now from doing any of those things more to like a fuller what's the word? Like in more
Capacity.
detail, yeah. Like
Yeah.
what's stopping you from doing it and like maybe trying to make something out of it. Some like make some kind of monetize it or
Yeah.
something like that.
I mean, I think, like, money really is the answer in the sense that, like, I'm very much, and I also think there's another point, and Brandon kind of brought this up in his episode, and I kind of
Link in the
agree with
description.
it. Like, subscribe, ring the bell.
Bing.
And the thing that I think is interesting is I'm kind of with him in that there are some hobbies I wouldn't really want to do with
All the
monetary expectations, right? Like, I don't think because I think there's a lot of things when you're doing them for money, they just don't become fun anymore. Like,
Yeah.
for example, I don't think playing video games professionally would be particularly fun. I don't play video games at that level. I play them for like my own enjoyment.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd ever want to play them at that level. I think they just become work. So, like,
Yeah.
I think what's stopping me is that because of, like, just the way capitalism works and the way that hyper competitiveness of, like, markets and stuff, I don't think you can actually love your job in a way that you would things that you do, like, not for money, because there's such expectations and demands about the way you do it. Like, for example, like, if you're a writer who's trying to be famous writing, you don't actually have the full freedom of what you write, how you write it, because there's all these monetary restrictions, markets, publishers will tell you that your stories are shit because you're not they don't have like the right tropes, or they're not
So
involving a
it's
certain
more
genre
work than you expect it to be.
yeah, and
Like
it's,
it can't just be what you want it to be.
yeah,
There's other
I think
people that
that's
control
exactly it. Is like when you monetize it, it's no longer for fun.
it. Yeah.
That's not what matters anymore because you're trying to make money. So I think I'd rather like I think I would rather do something, in a world where we have to make money to survive. I think I would rather do something that I enjoy, but that I'm okay having a life outside of. I think I think that's what you see with like a lot of like professional YouTubers, for example, people who play video games for living, even athletes. I think what happens is when your passion becomes your job, you kind of like lose yourself beyond that, and like your whole life just becomes work. Like for example, when my brother was playing uh, baseball in high school to try to get a college scholarship, uh, by the end of it, he really just didn't like playing baseball
So
anymore.
much work to get to that point.
Yeah, it's so much work. It forces you to make so many other sacrifices, so then you start to resent it. And, like, I wouldn't want that to happen with any of my hobbies, because, like, my hobbies are fun. That's the point of them, right? Like,
Yeah.
and this isn't to say that I don't like studying philosophy. I really do. I think it's fascinating. But, I think it's good to cultivate passions outside of that. And, yeah.
So do it more like on a side basis.
Yeah.
Not you don't want to invest all your energy into that hobby because you will eventually get kind of sick of it if you're trying to make money off of it.
Yeah, I think you'll because it will become something that you didn't like initially intend.
Yeah, do you think though people should pursue more things that they will enjoy like that, or should they stick with, say, like for me example, should I stick with that job that I hate and then just wait and look forward to doing my hobbies after work?
I don't think you should work a job you hate, but I also don't think that, and this isn't obviously for everyone, right? It's like, if, because for some people, right, they can't imagine doing any other job. Like, if you're just a baseball player, if it's in your blood, like, if that's the only thing you want to do, like, that just might be how your brain works, and you won't be happy doing anything else. But I think for most people, you have like more of like diverse likes, and so like my suggestion is just like, don't let your life become about one thing.
Yeah.
I think that's really the concern, is like, you shouldn't like work your job you hate just because you don't want to monetize your hobby, but at the same time, I don't think you should let your passion kind of become an obsession in that regard, especially just because of, all of like the horrible things that like a capitalist society is going to force you to do with that hobby in order to make money. Yeah, I mean,
be obsessed or be average, TJ.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet, so I can't get any more comments on it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
we'll bring it back.
Yeah.
I'll bring you back on it.
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just, I think that in today's day and age, especially with how hard it is to be successful and all of that, I think people convince themselves that, like, being rich and famous is worth making your job the only part of your life. And I don't know, for me, I just, like, I can't speak to it because I'm not rich and famous. I don't know what that lifestyle is like. But I mean, like, take a look at Jeff Bezos, right? Wife just divorced him, took half his money. He's hated by most people in the world, and I'm sure like he eats caviar every night and sleeps on a
$75
exactly. Like I'm sure his life is fucking incredible from the like carnal perspective, but at the same time, like
all this shit.
I don't know that that's
no one
worth
likes
it.
him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
yeah,
it's like, and imagine how stressful his life is on a day-to-day basis. It's just like you just gotta like decide what like is really meaningful to you, I guess. And that, I guess, kind of will determine whether or not it makes sense for your job to be your obsession or not. But for me, it's just like, I think you should always have more to your life than just how much money am I making.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think anyone should be working solely for money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think the main goal should always be happiness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you should ever just be doing something just because you're making a paycheck from it.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why I quit, because I was doing it only for money. And now that we have like this 4 or 5 months left here, I wanted to enjoy it as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I wish more people would do that, especially like around our age, because at this point in our lives, we can kind of take those risks.
Yeah.
Like we can quit jobs that we hate and like do whatever the hell we want and try to find our passions.
Yeah.
And then if we do end up getting another job later on, we'll know what passions to kind of focus on.
Yeah, and I think like you know, other things like that can be you know, devalued, things like having friends around, which, you know, particularly in like 21st century is proving to be like kind of difficult for people. A lot of people our age, a little bit older, talk about the difficulty of like having friends post college, and so I think the more you can build those relationships, preserve those relationships, and kind of, you know, make it so you have people in your life, regardless like where they are, that like really are meaningful to you. I think like especially when you're young, that's what you should be focusing on. You know, because it's also getting to a point where like. Going back to kind of the topic of being confused, part of the reason I don't really worry about it, if I'm being honest, and this might get a little grim, but it's just like, I don't even, like, I feel like I'm in we're in a stage in, like, history where, like, on an individual level, we can kind of afford to, like, take risks and make mistakes and maybe even be failures, because, like, the whole world is going to fundamentally change in 20 or 30 years. Like, we don't know.
Even be here.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't even know what the world's gonna look like in 20 years.
So why
like,
should I worry about?
That's what I mean. It's
anything,
like
really.
that's like, and it's not to say like you should just go around and like, you know, like go postal or something. But like what I'm saying is just like, you know, trying to prepare for a future that, if we're being honest, looks grim at best. Like it seems a little. Not silly, but it seems like you're getting worked up over something that you really can't control.
Yeah.
And so, again, it's not like you should just like burn all your money or anything, but at the same time, it's the way I'm thinking is like, I don't know what skills are going to be valuable in 2040. I don't know what jobs are going to be available. I don't know what the world's going to look like. So the whole preparing for your future idea just seems kind of strange for me when no one can really tell me what the future is going to look like. And if they can tell me, they usually don't have something good to say.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
So that's probably a good place to end.
Yeah.
I think we should really just, because we have no idea what the future's to hold. And that's not even just now.
No.
That's like any time.
Yeah.
Even if global warming it's real. Even if it wasn't a thing, Like,
don't forget it.
you never.
That's what you take from the podcast.
You never know what could happen in the future.
Yeah.
So why spend so much time doing shit that you don't care about?
Yeah.
I think that's a good point. Like, why bother?
Mm-hmm.
You should just be doing what you want to do to make yourself happy.
Yeah,
I think that should always be the goal.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Right.
Good place to end it. You want to say any? You want to plug any friends' music or?
No, I think I'm gonna end with
anything?
global warming is definitely real, and we should be worried about it. So remember that.
Make the thumbnail.
Yeah, make the thumbnail. Yeah, this is the thumbnail. Global warming is real.
That'll be the global warming podcast. All right. Oh, peace out. Thanks for watching the Purdue Tube.
It is not a Purdue tube. Don't say that.